Now they're going to share.
Just like any other 1-year-old.
Exactly. If you imagine, well, they've got better teeth than a 1-year-old. If you imagine that this is a big kangaroo carcass and it's night time, you actually want other devils to come to the carcass because it forms the bush's teeth, if you like. It means the whole carcass can be broken up into chunks that everyone can run off with. One of the things you'll see is if one of these devils gets the upper jaw and manages to run off with a piece of meat, it won't be able to eat and run at the same time. And when they stop, they share. Very nice. Here we go. Heard me. No. Yes, no. The other thing is, you've heard how they're vicious, smelly and kill sheep. All wrong. These animals, when they're fully grown, will have jaws that can crush wombat bones. Those of you who are Australian know that a wombat is a formidable marsupial. It's this long, it's 30 kilos, it's a welcome mat with significant attitude. Yeah, but they actually can get really big. So to be able to crush those bones, this is my thesis, to be able to crush those bones means you've got incredible jaw power. In fact, these 6-kilo animals, or certainly when they're adults at about 8 or 9 kilos, have the bite pressure of a 40-kilo Rottweiler. My point is, if they wanted to hurt each other, they could rip off an arm, a leg or a head very quickly. And they don't. So when you wander around and look at our 10 devils today, you'll see one in D1 has a bit of a damaged lip. You'll see Mr. D3 has got some old scars here. This is conversation at the dinner table. The devils, it's not viciousness. Also notice how dexterous their hands are. Watch what they do with their front hand. They actually eat all of what you see, but they're very particular about the order in which they feed it into their mouths. If you've tried to cut a bone that's still got flesh and muscle and fat on it, it's hard. But if you can pull it off with your hands, you can bite that bone in two. Don't try it at home. So, that's why they've got such dexterous forepaws, but it'll also make you realise they're not the world's fastest runner. Their front legs are actually longer than their back, so when they do run, you'll notice they've got a rocking horse motion. It's reasonably efficient, but it won't run down a healthy wallaby in flight. So what you're looking at is a nocturnal scavenger. Nothing is never in the wild. They can hunt, but they prefer their food to lie there and take it. So that could be earthworms, grubs. Where's that food gone?
He's off.
Watch how they actually locate it in a minute. Yes, clever Tassie devil, huh? They'll actually use their noses rather than their vision to find that other food. I hope they do, otherwise they'll prove me a liar. Because there's nothing wrong with their eyes, but they're essentially nose animals. I guess if you looked at their brain connections, you'd find they'd have many more olfactory or smelling connections than we have. And that's how, you imagine it's a dark night, there's no moon out, you're going to be able to find food up to 1 kilometre or 2 away in a complex bushland setting. You're not going to use your eyes. And that's what they've been doing for thousands upon thousands of years. So that's why they're designed the way they are. Any questions? I might pause at that point. I'm beginning to blow on a bit. Any questions?
What happened to their mom?
To their mum? Glad you asked that. Devil mums, I'll get to you too. Devil mums are actually very good. But remember they're marsupials. That means they mate in March and give birth in April. That's 3 weeks only, ladies. Imagine that. That's like giving birth to an 8-week-old conception. So the little embryos, because that's all they are, and there are 20 of them, emerge from the birth opening and crawl up into the pouch. Now, did you see the Olympics recently? Yeah? There are only 4 nipples in the pouch. So of the 20 little devils that are born, only 4 get to stand on the podium. They're then in the pouch for 4 months, and they go from rice grain to about, I guess you'd say apple leaf, okay? And then, so that's 5 months she's looked after them so far. Then she takes them out and puts them in a den where no eagles can get them and no other devils can get them, and looks after them for another 5 months. So she actually looks after them for 10 months of her year. She lives for 5 years and will do that 4 times. So if you're looking for a model of motherhood, that's it, the female devil. Yes?
How long can those Tassie devils smell?
That's a good question. Without any wind and in a complex bush environment with trees, about 1.5 kilometres. Obviously, if the wind were blowing from a dead animal, you know when you walk along past roadkill on a hot day, you can smell it from about 10 metres away, can't you? but they have much more sensitive smell, so they can smell things about a kilometre and a half away at night. Good question. Any others? Good silence. Forward.
I heard they found a healthy population in the Tarkine recently.
There are healthy populations dotted around, ma'am. The problem with that is defining whether they are healthy and the time and the use by date on that health. The lady's referring to devil facial tumour disease. We think we have a healthy wild population on the Tasman around and outside this park. But we don't know the day when the devil comes across Eaglehawk Neck with a placard saying, I've got the cancer, I'm going to bite one of these devils. It doesn't come with a hospital wristband. It doesn't announce itself. So the problem is, you only know when you've lost that status. You don't really know when you've got it. There's no blood test to test those Tarkine devils. There are devils, the rate of disease is less in the northwestern corner of Tasmania as well. But there is no absolute geographical barrier for a cancer that has taken out 90% of the population in 15 years, is transferred by biting in an animal that bites normally, and has 100% mortality as far as we know for every animal that has got the cells injected artificially or by another devil into it. So that's a big sentence. What I'm really saying is, yeah, temporarily, ma'am. Yes?
How many days can they live?
That's a good question.